information. You've got it all right there. Real good for setting meeting agendas that have been emailed out. Just drag and drop that meeting, that meeting agenda thing right into in the appointment. You can always do that though by clicking attach item, and then browse through your email. You can even select multiple items at once. So if I say OK, I can insert these as attachments, shortcuts, whatever I would like. So you can really build a pretty good collaboration just from a simple task or a simple calendar item. Now, the most common place I enter tasks for isn't from any of these actually, and it's actually not even from Outlook. I'm personally on the road a lot, so I take advantage of again, some of the powerful integration features in Outlook, in the Microsoft Office programs. And I actually enter my tasks right from OneNote. OneNote's a note-taking program that a lot of people use. It's very effective for producers and people on the go. You don't have to have a tablet PC to take full advantage of OneNote. The only thing you don't get is the handwriting, but you get all these other features, including the integration. So, I may be looking at some of my notes from my applied users group that I just attended in Indy last week, and I usually do this as I'm taking my notes and as I'm doing my meeting, whether it be with handwriting or just with the mouse and keyboard as I'm typing, because you can have a mix. What I would do is if I want to follow up on these items, I can actually insert an Outlook task right from OneNote. This is great. That way I can never forget anything that I promised somebody I'm going to do or look up for them during a meeting. So I will say insert this as today, and I will, I can insert another one for next week. You see it does change the colors automatically, just like Outlook does, so you know when things are for. You can actually manipulate them from here as well. If you're working in OneNote and you're not working really primarily in Outlook, you can actually open your task from here. I can do that by simply right-clicking and say Open Task in Outlook, and it switches me to the Outlook task. I can add to it from here. It'll stay linked because really what it's doing is it's just putting a link between the two programs. If I switch back to Outlook, I should see my Hello World task in today, and I do. So, I might, jot some notes in here to kind of remind me what it is. I don't have the best handwriting, as you can see, so sometimes it doesn't translate to the exact perfect text. But again, if I'm just operating in Outlook and not in OneNote, I can double-click on this item, and it takes me right back to OneNote automatically to that section I was looking at, and it even highlights what I made that task, so I definitely can't miss it. So what I'll do here is I'm going to mark this task as complete. I try to make a very good effort at marking my tasks complete, not deleting them. That way I've just got a good history of what I've been doing. Don't keep things forever, but I mark them complete, partially because that's for the view I've got set up. I find that most effective for myself. So then I will save and close. Now, you'll still notice here in OneNote that this task is marked as not found right now. Outlook's going to take just a second or two to actually come back and tell OneNote that this task is completed. So near the end of the demo, I'll actually come back and prove to you that that does show there. I should actually see a check mark next to that task after Outlook has a chance to sync back to it. All right, so we've covered lots of stuff today. We talked about integration, searching, the to-do bar, attachments, tasks. Let's show you calendar now. I know that's where a lot of people we find that just aren't going to to where they can take it to make things more convenient for them, and that's one of the things that has really gotten more and more powerful as Outlook has matured. So for my to-do bar, if I want to look at my calendar, I can see my couple upcoming appointments, and you can change the size of things. If I scroll this over a little bit, you see I've got a little more room. If I make it real big, I can see multi months. Good for people who don't do as much emailing with Outlook, but they really use it as a calendar and an organizer. I can scroll through back different months, back and forth. If I click on my item, it's actually going to open me up to my calendar. It takes me right there. I don't have to click on this calendar icon, but I can. Note, though, that if you don't click on your calendar icon, you don't get all this stuff over here. And this is where a lot of the power is for opening up other people's calendars, doing calendar sharing, and things like that. you'll see that I've got access to lots and lots of people's calendars. I've also got a couple things down here that says main conference room and Mackinac conference room. Well, what those are is those are our conference rooms. What we do with these is something called a resource mailbox. That's a newer feature in the new versions of Exchange. It lets you set up these things called resource mailboxes. They're accounts, but they're not tied up to users. It's very effective for making sure that you don't double book your conference room. So I could open up the calendar for the Mackinac conference room and take a look and see what things look like. You see or the main conference room, we're pretty open for the most part. It is booked this morning for a webinar. It's also booked tomorrow for Smart Coordinator training that Don is doing for a couple customers. Other things you could use resource mailboxes for would be, say, a projector, a conference room computer, a conference room laptop, different resources that you have shared within the company. You could make a normal user account, but the resource mailbox does a couple other special things. You can set it permissions on there for auto accept or auto decline, or program it to actually send replies or not. So that's really what it's designed for, is just being a resource, a mailbox, a room, a projector, you name it. So one of the more powerful features you get with the new version of Exchange that Outlook can work with as well. But I can open up other people's calendars here, and I'll open up a quick view so you can see what one of the text calendars look like. I am operating in cache mode. That's why it does take a second to load. It doesn't show right away because my Outlook's offline. I'm working on a tablet PC, so I'm going to take it on the road with me. So what it does is it's blank. Then it actually loads up and downloads those items to my own computer. So I could manipulate mine and Matt's calendar right now if I unplug my network cable. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to lose you. I'm going to open up another one so you can see what multiple calendars look like all together. And things are going to get pretty squished here. Of course, things are going to look bigger if you've got a bigger monitor. I can crunch things down to only show my work week. Right now I'm showing a full week. You can show, of course, by day. You can show by month. Those things have always been there just to give you an idea of the big picture. A new addition, though, is the details list. Obviously, details aren't going to do much when I've got this many things open right now. But if I close a couple calendars, you see right now I've got high details, so it's showing as much as it can in these appointments. If I change it to medium, well, you're just going to see the spots where things are. And if I change it to low, well, you're only going to see the full day appointments in the low details view. So I'll flip back to my week, and I'm going to show my full work week also, because I do operate, with little reminders and things on Saturday and Sunday if I need to do something. So I'm going to make a new appointment. Let's set something up for right after this webinar. So again, you can double click right inside of the calendar. I can click new up here if I wanted to for a new appointment. No matter what section of Outlook, and if you hit this little down arrow, you can make a new anything from anywhere too. I use this quite a bit because if I'm looking at my tasks, well, I don't want to take the 2 seconds it takes to switch to my calendar. I'm always about squeaking out a couple extra seconds here and there for better efficiencies. So if I go to my new appointment, a little bit of just Outlook etiquette is make a nice subject for what we're going to be doing. So we're going to meet to discuss project 213. And I put my details down here. Again, I will usually insert some items with the attach item function, pull in some emails into this, usually do them as attachments. If I had some other PDF files and things like that, I might attach them in here. Note that you can also, if you've got, say, my computer open, which I'll show you here, I can actually take lots of different attachments and I can just drag them right into my appointment as well. Say this is to discuss TAM 10. I'll put my TAM 10 notes right in there. And what that's going to do is that's going to give all the attendees access to that file. You can look at it ahead of time or whatever works for you. I can insert a signature. Just a nice little feature to put your signature in anywhere you really need. Of course, you can do things like insert tables, pictures, clip art. They've made it very, very open. Hyperlinks if I want to put web shortcuts in there. Just